going to be sharing with you 6 hacks that you can use as a safety measure to help you care for your children. It will also help you as a parent, to help you as a teacher, to help you as a school owner. The safety hacks I'd like you to share with your friends, share with colleagues, share with everyone that you know that comes to mind, all your contact list. I'd like you to share the safety hacks with them. The first safety hack I'm going to be talking about is food safety. What you eat, what you put in your mouth, what you serve your children on a daily. In as much as we're living in a time where everyone wants to jump into processed food because parents are busy, they want to be able to make sure that they are meeting up with the demands of the economy. They try to see how they can meet up, and before they know it, they are giving their children on a daily what might not be good for them. I would say, as someone that has a basic in food and nutrition, the more natural you go, the better and the safer. So as much as possible, ensure that the food you serve your children, the meal you serve your children, even the desserts, have every nutrient that they need. What I mean by that is every meal you serve your child, whether it's a snack, whether it's a full meal, is balanced. And a balanced meal consists of all the 6 classes of food. I'm talking about protein, carbohydrate, fats and oil in the right proportion. So as much as possible, take it slow or take it little, or shut down a little bit on processed food or junk food, just because you want to be fast or just because you don't want to put yourself into too much hassle preparing this food for these children. These children at this stage need their immune system to be built and need their immune system to be very strong enough to fight diseases, strong enough to fight infections. And the only way that can happen is by what they eat. The water they drink, ensure that it is clean water that would not infect them or that will not put them in danger. Ensure that the drinks that they take are fruit juices, not packaged juices. As a policy, I do not even encourage parents to give their children packaged fruits and packaged juices. They are not good for them, because most of these packaged juices, most of them contain preservatives that they might not even write for you to see in the content. So as much as possible, buy your fruits, juice them, buy your vegetables, juice them, and make sure that whatever your children are taking are balanced. Whatever they are taking is balanced. A child that is always on balanced meal, always on natural foods that are balanced, will do better in understanding, either developmentally, psychologically, physically, and otherwise, than a child that is always stuffed on junk foods, stuffed with junk foods, or just any food anywhere. Or you are used to buying foods that are prepared in restaurants, in different places that you might not know what the hygiene is like or what happens behind closed doors while preparing these foods. So some children or some parents have encountered allergens. Some parents have gone into some kind of unnecessary expenses in the hospital because they didn't look into the food that their children are consuming on a daily. So as much as possible, even the people that you employ in your house, the domestic staff, the chef, the cooks that you have in your house that prepare your food, look into the details of what they eat. Sometimes you change the menu, because one thing I know about children is that they love variety. So if in this week they have had beans and plantain, they have had bread toast with egg, they have had something they have been having on a daily, and they feel, oh, I'm tired, or they don't even want to have it again. Sometimes sit down and check the menus, change the menus at least 2 or 3 times in a month, so that those children can have variety of foods to eat, variety of balanced meal to eat. Food safety is one major safety hack that you cannot overlook. It determines how healthy your child gets, how sick or how good they feel. You can play around different recipes. There are different recipes you can play. I'm going to drop a link that can help you, explore different recipes, different healthy recipes that you can use. And you can also find into all of these different recipes. Maybe you have run out of ideas when it comes to breakfast, you have run out of ideas when it comes to lunch, you've run out of ideas. Find kid nutritionists that specialize in those things, and just pay something and they can come up with a menu that can last you a month. different menus with different varieties of recipes so that your children can have full, can have a balanced meal and they can enjoy their meal. They can look up to meal times. Next safety hack I'm going to be talking about today, which is cosmetic safety. Cosmetic safety, I call it cosmetic safety because it has to do with what the products you use for your children from the time they are babies, they are infants, to the time they become teenagers. What products do you use for your children? I see some parents that use products that could bleach their children, that could lighten their children. They don't need all of those things. These ingredients or these cosmetics that can bleach or change the tone of your child's skin affect their organs. It can cause kidney breakdown. It can cause liver diseases. Can cause a lot of havoc to their nerve. Even their skin can be damaged. They can develop skin cancer or irritations. So please, as much as possible, ensure that the products that you use for your children are mild. Some are expensive, some are on a budget. You can use them and ensure that your children are using the safe products. There's some diapers that when you use, they are not good for the texture of the skin of your child. Look out for these things. There are products I'm going to mention that you as a parent should have handy while taking care of you as a school, as a daycare. There are products that you can have handy. Vaseline, you should have Vaseline in your closet. Ensure that you always have Vaseline, the blue seal. It is one product that I know that is universal. You can use it for the child, they can use it on their skin. It's safe for children, it's safe for infants, it's safe for adults. Another product that I know for probably children that have delicate skin, probably when they are still tender, is Sebamed products. Sebamed soap, Sebamed wash. These products I know a doctor recommended when my child was having irritations, when he was having skin rashes and all. It was recommended, and ever since I started using it, I've seen tremendous changes. Not like I use it all the time, but when I see that it's breaking out, I jump back into it because it might be quite expensive for some people. And if you are on a budget, you might want to explore other options that are safer. As much as possible, stay away from products that will bleach your child, will turn their skin, or products that you feel, that comes in contact with their skin. Soap, deodorants, even perfume. Sometimes you don't even need perfumes. There are some of these products that have good fragrances that once you use it to bathe your child, once you use it to take care of your child, you are good and fine. Baby is fine and good. So in a bid to make your children look healthy and beautiful, I always say, if your children are eating right, their skin will be clean. If your children are well taken care of, they use clean water to bathe them, they drink clean water, and the environment is neat. You don't even need to go extra mile to find cosmetics or products that will make them look, or that you have to use to make their skin look extra nice. So, cosmetic products are one of the products that destroy the safety of those children when it comes to their skin, when it comes to their health. Parents should please look out for these products. Also, products that are harsh to the skin. There are some soaps that are too harsh for your baby. You don't have to use the same soap you use for yourself unless you know that this soap is dermatologically tested and trusted, and you've used it and you notice this product is good for my baby's skin. As much as possible, use mild products for your children. If you have questions, you can also ask me in the comment section. There are products like Johnson, products like Johnson Baby. They are good products that you can also use for those children, especially if you are on a budget. Please make sure that these cosmetic products are not products that are not for children, or products that people have made deliberately just to make money, and they target that is for children. And that if you want to lighten your children, any product that is a lightening product and you have children and they are specifically written for children is not actually a good product. They are out to damage your child. They are out to destroy your child. So look out for the safety hack. That leads me to the third safety rule, third safety hack I'm going to be sharing with you today, which is disciplinary measures. The disciplinary measure that works for one parent might not work for the other parent. In Africa, in Nigeria, we believe in spanking. But let me tell you that if you have the right parenting skills, You don't need to spank your children. You don't need to go that length to be able to instill discipline. However, you might have to do it sometimes. And some people will quote, oh, the Bible says spare the rod and spoil the child. You have to ask yourself, who is a child? When does my child cease from being a child? Is it when the child turns 18? No. Because these days, you have children that by 9 years, by 8 years, they've already reached the age of puberty. Maturity sets in. Maturity has a lot to do with the mind, has a lot to do with the intellect. It doesn't have anything to do with age. You see children that mature, and when a child has matured, in as much as a child has not reached 18 years, I don't think it is advisable to use cane to spank the child. You can get the child to talk. You can talk to the child, you can speak to the child. In extreme cases when you need to be firm, you might withdraw privileges from that child to make the child understand that this attitude of yours, you have to call it out. So, as much as possible, find a balance. I always preach, do not go to extremes while disciplining your children. Extremes, I mean, if you're using reprimands or you're using rewards. If you're reprimanding your child, do not go to extremes. It can damage the child's self-esteem. Do not go to extremes if you're using rewards. It might make your child to become wayward or extra or carefree. That's when you start seeing children that are experiencing juvenile delinquencies and all of that. People will say they weren't brought up well. So when it comes to this disciplinary measure, as much as possible, be moderate. Try different things. A wise man said it takes a village to raise a child. Yes, try different methods. Listen to parenting tips. Register for parenting courses so that you can know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. You can't stick to the archaic and orthodox method that our parents use or our forefathers used in those days, because the world is changing, and as the world is changing and evolving, you should be able to evolve with the world, because these children are meant to be your friends. They are meant to be people that tomorrow they can run back to you with open arms. They are also meant to be children that when you release them to the environment, they don't cause a havoc in the life of another child, in the life of someone else's child. Because when you go to extremes, that is what happens. You get to damage their self-esteem if you have overcorrected them, or you have over-disciplined them, or you didn't even discipline them enough. There is always a balance to these things. So the disciplinary measure you use for your child is very important. It is a safety hack that you might need as you're training your child or as you're grooming your child. That leads me to the next safety hack which I'll be sharing today, which is relationship check. Yes, the relationship in the life of your child, you need to pay attention to it. You need to check it. As a mother, as a father, as a teacher, what is the relationship with your child and their teacher in school? What is the relationship between your child and your husband or your wife? What is the relationship between your child and their friends in school? What is the relationship between your child and the nanny, the domestic staff in your house, the security, the gatesman, your driver? What are their relationships like? You need to check, because we have discovered that most children that are suffering from traumas were either molested by either their father or their mother, or aunties and uncles, or gatesmen or security men or drivers or nannies or friends, because no one was paying attention to that relationship. So to save your child of this future problem, and one thing that happens with people that have experienced this kind of abuse or were molested, if not checked, the person did not go for therapy or the person did not work on themselves, it's a cycle. It's like a chain reaction. It keeps repeating from generation to generation to generation. So paying attention to the relationships in the life of your child is not overreacting. It's not being too strict, or it's not being too pushy, or you're not invading their privacy. No. There's a respectful way to pay attention. When an uncle is relating with your daughter, or an auntie is getting too overly attached to your son, what is going on in that relationship, or a teacher in school, or you see your child, when your child is always tending to a particular uncle, always tending to a particular auntie, always tending to, or even amongst themselves as siblings, something might be going on. So that is why as a parent, you have a major role to play in the life of your children. Open your eyes and see what is going on in their lives, so that when there is a harm, or when there's something that is not consistent or something that you don't understand, you might not even ask questions. You might just start looking closely to find out what exactly is going on. When those children are still tender, when they become preteens, or when they are teenagers, you need to know when they have started relationships, so that if they've started an extra relationship, or a relationship that is not meant to be with someone that is not meant to be, you can know how to step in. Where you lack knowledge, please ask questions. Ask experts. Ask professionals that know how to handle things like this. Do not just start shouting, or do not just start overreacting, or do not just start threatening them. Do not shut it down abruptly, or do not threaten whoever that is involved, because you might just give them a trick to find other strategies. So relationship check is also a safety hack that you need as a parent to be able to safeguard the future of your children. This leads me to the next safety hack, which is values and customs. What are the values and customs that your family preach? What are the values and customs that you practice in your family? Every family have a value, they have a custom that builds them, that makes them who they are. In my family, we have a value, we have a custom, where you have zero tolerance for lying, zero tolerance for using the wrong words on each other, zero tolerance for hitting, for being abusive in one way or another. Your child should be able to know their values and customs, what is obtainable in the family where they belong, so that when they are in the world, they can practice such values and customs. I remember many years ago, when I went for a job interview, that's one of the questions I was asked is, what are your personal values? And I never knew why they were asking me, because I never knew the school also have their values. So I said one of my values is honesty, hard work, discipline, excellence. And by the time they told me their values, most of my values matched to the values of the school. And guess what? I was taken for that job. So your children should know their customs, the custom of their family. Some people will say, this is not our culture. This is not how we do. What are the values that your child should learn from your family? Teach them the values and customs of your family. How to dress, how not to dress. How to speak, how not to speak. How to talk, how not to talk. How to respond, how not to respond. When to draw boundaries with people. When to stop when they are relating with people. They should be able to know how to respect themselves and respect people's privacies. These values and customs, one safety rule that when you see people, it differentiates A from B. When you see people that do not have any value or custom, they don't have values, it shows you how the background is, or how they have been brought up. The difference between this person that is doing well in life and the other person that is not excelling in life can be traced to the values of the family, their value system, and the customs of the family where they're coming from. And there are some people too that are wise. They've been able, as they're growing up, and they have seen this person is doing well. This person has value for money. This person has discipline when it comes to spending. And in my family, we never had that. They pick it up. So before time, they start forming their own value system, their own customs, their own values, which is going to help them. So teach your children that as much as you're also teaching them the right values, the morals, what they should hold on to, what people should remember them for, also tell them or teach them to open their minds to see other values that are very enviable, other values that are nice, that they can learn from other people that can make or help them form their own value system. This is a safety hack that you need as a parent or even as a teacher to help your child, safeguarding them from whatever the world might throw at them. Can I tell you that hard work is a value, consistency is a value, tenacity is a value. When you see people that do not quit, even in the midst of challenges, even in the midst of hardship. They do not quit at life. They do not quit at anything they get into. It is a value system that someone inculcated in them that is playing out. When you see people that at every slightest provocation or at any slightest hardship, they quit, they get tired, they get frustrated, they say, I'm not doing it again. It can be traced to their value system or the family they are from. So safety rules or safety measures is something that you do deliberately. So deliberately teach your children the value system that you have formed, and the ones that haven't worked for you, you drop them and let them pick up the ones that will work for them. And that leads me to the last safety hack I'm going to be sharing with you today, which is engaging the supernatural. As a Christian, I have seen over the years that irrespective of how you work hard, how you try to put things in place, how you try to make things work as an expert, as an extra careful person, as an excellent person, as someone that is a perfectionist, no matter how you try to get it right, sometimes you might fail. This is where engaging the supernatural comes in. What do I mean by that? Prayer. For most of us that believe in prayer, some are Christians, some are Muslims, you believe in something that is bigger or something that is bigger than the human imagination. You believe that there is something else beyond us here that guides the universe. Engage the powers, engage those powers to protect your children, either through prayer, either through devotion, either through meditation, one way or another. However you communicate with those beings, with those forces that guide the universe, guide the emotions, you need to do it to be sure that your children are on track. Because even when you have done everything you need to do, you still need to pray. You still need to get those children into that your space. Either you pray with them, or in your own private moments, you call them in that place of prayer, in your place of worship, in your place of communicating with God. You start speaking to God. My child will not be in danger. My child will stick to the values I've taught. My child will not pick the wrong friends. My child will not fail. My child will do the right thing. My child will defend, will be confident. You start engaging the supernatural. It's one safety hack that works. Dots the I's and crosses the T's. You can't go wrong when you engage the supernatural. I'm very glad that you are part of this journey of safety, and I'm sure that you're going to share this video. Please do ensure that if you enjoyed what we're doing in this channel, or you're enjoying it, or it's even had one thing or another that it helped you or it reminded you of, please share this video with your contacts, share this video with your family and friends. Let people begin to subscribe. Let's have more people that will know what we're talking about. I'm very glad that you're part of this channel, and I want to say thank you very much, and I'll see you in April.